Hello to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. I'm coming to you from the car once again today. It's a little bit wet out there on the grass, so I'll just do it from the comfort of my bubble. I want to do another book summary today, and it's an interesting book summary called Contagious. Contagious, and the author is Jonah Berger. And Contagious is a book about how to portray your self-image from a social perspective, from a social media perspective, in order to gain momentum and currency. It's not the sort of thing that I'm interested in, but I guess, for people who are running businesses, for people who are up and coming or upwardly mobile, and people who need to leverage technology and image and marketing and advertising, then some of the lessons from this book may be useful. I must admit I did find it interesting, but what we'll do is we'll just chat through a couple of the principles that come from this book and see where it leads us. So thank you once again for joining me on Jim's 5am Club. It's the last day of the year tomorrow, so I'm just trying to knock off and clock on a few more 5am clubs to hit my magical 600 number, so that I keep on building momentum. Because what I've found is now that I'm not working, I've got about a week and a half off. Now that I'm not working, I'm finding it a little bit harder to get motivated to continue my Jim's 5am clubs. Even though I really enjoy it, it's harder when you have to try and manufacture it throughout the day, and you break your routine. Anyway, let's kick on with this book, Contagious, by Jonah Berger. So he talks about the 6 principles of virality. So going viral, I guess that means. So what do you need to do to go viral and be top of mind with people? And he says that virality is not born, it's made. So it's a learned thing, and if you follow the principles and follow the tricks of the trade, then you can become a social media socialite, I guess is what we're suggesting. And you can become a celebrity in your own right. And I remember years ago when my youngest daughter Artemis was doing her degree at university, one of the essays that she wrote on was on celebrity. And I was interested to read her, to proofread her work, and to learn that celebrity is about, basically being famous for being famous. So you're not famous for any reason. All of a sudden, you just become famous because people just want to follow you for some reason. There's some magnetism. There's something that you've been able to create, some magic that you've been able to create, that connects with people, and people just find you interesting and want to follow you. And I do know that there are people on Facebook and on social media and Instagram, for example, and they've just got a number of followers, and they're just so interesting to follow. But all they do is just post photos of themselves at different times of the week. But that creates an aura about them. So it's not real, of course, but there is something about them. There's something that's magical, that's mystical, that attracts people's attention, and people find it useful to follow and to want to connect and to become voyeurs in those people's lives. So let's just try and work out, what is it that makes somebody interesting and charismatic in their own way? So the 6 principles, we'll go through the 6 principles, and then we'll just talk about each principle as we go. So the 6 principles of virality are social currency. The second one is triggers. The third one is emotion. The fourth one is public space. The fifth one is called practical value. And the last one is the stories that surround the legends or the celebrities that make people want to follow them. So I'll just relax a bit and we'll get into it. So social currency, let's kick off with social currency. So what this is saying here is that you need to generate your own social currency. So something about you that makes people want to follow you. And the author talks about the importance of learning how to mint your social currency. And to mint a social currency, you need to be careful, because the image, it's all about shaping image and creating image. And the author talks about shaping your image. So you need to be very, very careful with what you share, how often you share, and to make sure that what you share is something which is going to be positive and attractive. Okay, because you're basically putting out there on a pedestal your image. So you want to be putting an image out there which is mystical, but also something that people want to follow and are interested in. So the author says that it's important to share things that make you look good. How simple is that? But how powerful is that? You know, you need to share things that make you look good, not stuff that makes you look bad. How many people do we know in our lives where, you know, all they share is the things that make them look bad? They share their problems, they share their challenges, they share their drama, and that sort of stuff, in terms of a social currency, is a drain. Is a drain on people. Is a drain on your audience. So what the author says here, and a lot of people don't get it, but the important thing is to share the stuff that makes you look good, makes you look sexy, makes you look better than what you actually are. So what are we talking about? You know, let's just say what you shouldn't be doing. So, you know, the stuff that makes you look bad is stuff that's best kept off social media, best kept away from public view in general. You know, so we shouldn't be airing our dirty laundry, so to speak. But the author talks about social currency should be the promotion of what is remarkable. So what's remarkable about you? Or what do you want people to see you as, you know, from a remarkable perspective? So you can shape. Now you're the sculptor of the image that you're putting out there. So you need to be able to promote what is remarkable about you, but knowing that you can shape that remarkability. So what is remarkable is something which is interesting. You need to sit and think, what is interesting? What is it about me that is interesting? What is it about me that is interesting and extreme is another thing they talk about. What is it about me that is novel? What is it about me that is noticeable? Because the whole aim of the game from a social media perspective, from what I can read here from this book summary, so I'm not talking about myself, I'm not trying to make it up, I'm talking about what the author is suggesting. And this is what people do. So there are people out there who have got thousands and thousands of followers. So it's pretty interesting. So the whole aim of the game from celebrity, from social media influencer, is that you need to promote what is remarkable. And the reason why you're trying to promote the remarkability, the interesting, the extreme, the novel, the noticeable aspects of you, of what make you these virtues, is that you need to get people talking. You need to get people talking about you, and you need to treat the people like they're insiders in your life, so they're getting an inside view. So you're shaping it so that they feel as if they're insiders, and they can you're making them feel special by them feeling as if they're part of your inner sanctum, so to speak. It makes them feel unique, that they're close to you, because social media does give people that one-on-one feeling that they're close to you, and it increases their status. So it's all about promoting yourself and making yourself look really, really special and really, really cool. But by promoting yourself to being really cool, also makes other people feel as if they're cool by associating and connecting with you from a social media perspective. When people feel connected to you, feel special, feel unique, they see you as cool, and then by them associating with you, then they'll go and start promoting you and boasting about you to increase their status. It's pretty strange, but this is what the author's talking about, and it's pretty interesting. I'm finding it very interesting, to tell you the truth. The second thing that the author talks about in terms of the virality of social media and how to become contagious, or how to get your views, how to get your presence to become contagious, is to look at triggers and to look at things which are able to act as cues, so that people are led to talk about you and choose to follow you. So the social currency is all about getting people talking. All right, so the social currency is getting people talking. All right, you're interesting, so it's getting people talking about you, about what is interesting about you. But the triggers, the author says, are the cues that keep people talking about you. So the whole goal is to get people talking about you, and then to get people to continue to talk about you, so that you're top of mind and top of tongue. So if you're top of mind and top of tongue, then you're relevant, you're connected, and you're relevant, and people will just keep that momentum going as long as you're able to continue your posting, your presence. And that's the second point. So we've gone through social currency, we've gone through triggers. The third thing is emotion. So it's important to share things which are positive and are uplifting about you, as opposed to things that are negative about you, which it's interesting to understand. But you can play on people's emotions. You can toy with people's emotions through innuendo, through arousal, through suggestion. So what the author is talking about here is that you can make yourself look even more sexy, even more appealing, even more mystical, by playing on arousal, on emotion, on things which create anxiety, which create edge, which make it edgy. So that's something to think about. So one of the things that the author suggests here is to try and focus on feelings, on playing with people's feelings or doing things which activate emotion. But it's a two-edged sword is what I'm reading here. So from an emotional perspective, when you play with people's emotions, it's a two-edged sword. So it can work for you if you're good at it, or if you're bad at it, it can work against you. So it's something to consider. But the first thing is to get people talking about you, or to notice you. The second thing is to keep people talking about you, and to keep your tip of tongue. So you need to stay engaged, and you need to keep the momentum going. But you also need to play with people's emotions, or learn how to trigger people's emotions to keep the game going, so to speak. Because at the end of the day, you're in the public sphere. So the fourth thing is that you're part of the public sphere, and that you need to ensure that you stay observable. So you stay, you're part of a continual spectacle. And what you'll notice is the people who are the best at social media, at Instagram, are the ones who keep that currency fresh, keep it going, keep it observable, and keep it public, but in a way which is positive, which is sexy, which is interesting, and which shapes and activates emotion. So the fifth point that we're talking about is it needs to be practical. You need to create practical value. So what does practical value mean? So it needs to be useful in order to be contagious. So it needs to do something that people value. You need to do something that make people find useful. So what the author is saying here is that in order for it to be useful, people will compare and evaluate things in relative terms. So it's not about, they don't do things in absolute terms, but they'll do it in relative terms. So whatever you're doing from a social media perspective in terms of your image, for it to be accepted and for it to go viral and to be fully accepted by lots of people, it's got to be practical, but it's got to be practical in a relevant, in a relational perspective compared to something that other people are doing. So, and you need to be able to exceed people's expectations and to play with people's fantasies, because as we know, Facebook, Instagram is not real. It's more of it's a fantasy land. And I've got lots of friends who are really good at Instagram and Facebook, and their Facebook and Instagram persona is so much different to who they are as a person. And yet, when you look at their Instagram persona, it is quite dramatic and quite interesting and spectacular in many ways. But it is an art form. It's a wonderful art form that can be shaped, can be manipulated in a nice way. I'm saying in a nice way to be able to create social influence. And a lot of the people that I follow, are people who have a positive social influence, and not one which is negative and overbearing and overwhelming. I tend to steer clear of those sorts of personas. And the last point that the author talks about is the importance of integrating, your social currency, your triggers, your emotion, the public sphere, the practical value, to integrate all of those things into a story so that you become a storyteller and you can take people on a journey, on a fanciful journey. Because look, years ago, I remember somebody, who was it? The person who wrote the book Influence. I forget the author's name, but it'll come to me. No, Jay Abraham was the one who mentioned this. Jay Abraham in his book on marketing, the skills of marketing and advertising. He said that all people secretly are looking for somebody to take them on a journey, and we all fall into the same boat. We're living our lives. Our lives are interesting and are mundane at the same time, and everybody's looking for a fictional sort of lifestyle or character just to escape the challenges of daily life. So through your stories, through the stories of Instagram and Facebook, you're able to take people on a journey and to learn how to use your influence, use the interesting aspects about you, your sex appeal, your magnetism, your charisma, because everybody has something which is quirky, something which, people who lack it really want it, if you know what I mean. So you may think of your quirkiness or your certain aspects of your interesting character to be nice or to be good, but other people thirst for it because they don't have it as part of their character. They don't have it in their social circle. They don't have it in their family. It's something that they dearly, dearly want. So the author is suggesting that each and every one of us have something that somebody else wants and somebody else dearly wants. And through social media, through Instagram, through Facebook, and through whatever other iteration, TikTok, whatever iteration comes about over the years, that we have platforms to enable us to launch ourselves and to express our talents and our skills in ways that can influence in a positive way, hopefully, people around us, and hopefully other people can use these platforms to influence us and to keep us entertained and allow us to go on a beautiful sort of journey. Anyway, I think that's enough today on this book, this wonderful book called Contagious by Jonah Berger, who talked about the 6 principles of virality. So I really, really enjoyed that. And as I say, I thank all my friends on Facebook, the people that I follow on Instagram and Facebook, because a lot of their posts I find very interesting. I enjoy the ability to stay connected indirectly and to follow their posts, follow their lives, and to learn, because we're all learning from each other all the time. So I'll finish off on with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and stay reasonable. And most importantly, let's make the most of these platforms that we have available to us to spread the good word, to spread empowerment, to be able to connect with people, to take them on a journey, to help them grow, develop, and basically escape the challenges that we all face in our everyday lives, and to make the most of every single day. Because as we've said time and time again, today will never come back. It will never ever be the 30th of December 2020. So let's make the most of the gift that we have today, the gift of the present moment, and empower ourselves and help empower all of those around us to live the life that they're destined to live, and to be the best possible version of themselves. So thank you very much, and I look forward to coming to you again tomorrow on the 31st of December 2020, and to see where it takes us, see where it leads us. I'll come to you from a different location, hopefully, with a different message, a message of empowerment, a book summary, an observation, a suggestion, a song. Who knows what it'll be, but hopefully it'll take us on a journey where we can both grow and develop and express ourselves and be better people. Anyway, yasas, take care, filakya, hatapumbe, and we'll chat again. Bye for now. I love this song. I love it.